Welcome to episode 15 of the Arctic Crafts podcast. My name is Bente and I'm coming to you from Vesterålen, northern Norway, where I live with my husband and our 3 cats. You can find me on Instagram as Arctic Crafts, on Facebook and Etsy as Arctic Crafts by Bente, and on Ravelry as Arctic Crafts 65. As you can see behind me, I've decorated the tree. You can see on my Vlogmas episodes when I assembled and decorated the tree. You were not supposed to decorate the tree until the 23rd. That's kind of the rule in Norway. But since I was going to record a podcast today, I wanted to have the Christmas tree as a backdrop. And I'm also wearing my Christmas sweater because this is my last podcast before Christmas. I wanted it to be a bit festive. And something else, when it comes to admin, I've kept saying that when I reach 100 subscribers, I will do a giveaway. And thanks to Jamie from the Cozy Up Knits. Their podcast is really good, by the way. Check it out. She bought some yarn from me and she mentioned it on their last episode. And suddenly my subscription numbers started going up. So here I am doing a giveaway. And I'll do the giveaway later in the episode. And let's get on with it. As I was saying, I'm wearing my Christmas sweater, and that's the Ranunculus. And I've knitted in my own yarn in a Christmas red colorway. I only dyed up enough for this sweater. And let's see what I've been knitting on lately. Because of my Advent project, I haven't been knitting a lot of other things, but we could start by looking at my Advent project. You can see here that it's getting long, really long. And when you think about it, 24 minis, 20 gram each, that's over 4 skeins of yarn, so of course it's going to get big. The stitch marker in the middle, by the way, is from Jibby Roo Sews. And the only thing with this year's Advent from Norah George Yarns is that I think it's a bit monotonous. So I'm a bit disappointed because last year's was a beautiful fade. So I'm a bit disappointed in this year's. But I'm going to finish it, by all means. And I suddenly realized my mini for today is over there, and I want you to see it. So I'll be right back. I already filmed this on my Vlogmas. And today's color is mustard yellow. And I'm keeping it in the bag for now because I've decided to not knit anymore on my Advent project until after Christmas. But I'll finish it, I promise. I'm going to show it to you as I finish it. And something else I've been working on. I'm kind of trying to get a pair of socks ready for Christmas. That's one of the reasons I've stopped working on my Advent project. I almost dropped the stitch. And this is blowing out. Let's try to hold it closer. This colorway is called Be Merry. It's from Nicole C. Mendes, and it's just a vanilla sock. I just used this slip stitch to break up the stripes a bit. And those are supposed to be done by Christmas, and this is the first sock. So I have some work to do. I normally knit socks really fast, but I have a lot of other projects as well, so I'm going to try to be monotonous with those before Christmas, so they get done. I'm working on another pair of socks as well for my son, and the first sock is all done, and this is my colorway silver lining, and I'm putting afterthought heels in these because I want to measure his feet first, and I've started the second sock. And this fun Harry Potter inspired stitch marker, it says mischief managed. And that's from, I think that's from Jibby Roo Sews as well. I just checked. It is from Jibby Roo Sews. As you can tell, I'm not properly prepared for this episode because I have other stuff to do, so I'm kind of winging it a bit. That's right. I think I need some more coffee. And I've also been working on my test knit. I've done a lot on that since the last time I showed it to you, because the deadline is in the end of January, so there's no rush. But I love working on it because I love the colors and I love the pattern. The pattern is called the Jessamy, and it's by Melinda Meeser of Rye Flower Knits. And I'm knitting it in my two colorways, Guacamole and Rock Garden. And the Guacamole really makes the chartreuse speckles in the Rock Garden pop. That's the knitting I've been working on. And I have to admit that I started something I thought I'd never start, but I kind of got a lot of minis this size, and this is not enough for heels, toes and cuffs on a pair of socks. It's kind of about, I don't think this is probably 14, 15, maybe enough for heels, toes and cuffs, or heels and toes at least. But I decided I wanted to do something with all these minis. Can you see where I'm going with this? I've started a granny stripe blanket. I know. I haven't gotten very far, and I used the instructions from Attic 24, and I just started with, I just used my wingspan as a measurement because I'm 5'3", and I decided that that's enough for a single bed, because I'm either going to have this as a blanket on the couch, or I'm going to use it on the on the bed in the guest room, and that's it's not a single bed. It's 1 meter 20. I suddenly used meters and I used feet. I'm 1 meter 60 centimeters. We don't use feet in Norway, so why I said I was 5'3", I don't know. But this is how far I've gotten. I haven't gotten really far. I don't remember exactly all the colorways, but I remember this one because that was Pixie Yarns Christmas colorway last year. The one at the bottom, I have no idea. Some of these, I know the top one is mine. That's something I dyed up for a So Faded. And I'm probably going to work on that during Christmas, probably. And that's all my knitting. I have a bit of show and tell. Speaking of which, I'll just show you this. Instead of having all the loose project bags on the couch, I decided to gather them in this. And this basket is several years old, and the cats have been using it. So I had quite the job with removing all the cat hairs before I put my knitting in it. So we're going to show and tell, because I actually have an FO, and it's this one. This is another test knit, and this is called Twig and Berries, and it's a collaboration with Melinda Meeser of Rye Flower Knits, and this was so much fun to knit. And again, the color is, this is more correct. This is the colorway Brickyard, and the hat is knit up in merino DK. Speaking of DK, something exciting might happen in January. I might get my hands on some superwash merino nylon DK, and I've had several requests for a thicker, heavier sock yarn. So I'm going to test dye some skeins in January or February. So I'm going to get a thicker sock yarn. I know spring is a really stupid time to release a thicker sock yarn, but I think thick socks for slippers or something could be interesting all year, especially here, because we only have a couple of months in summer that are too warm for wool socks. I also got something in the mail. I subscribe to a yarn club run by a lady in Llandudno in Wales. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's her shop is Ewe Felty Thing. I love that name. And my December subscription just arrived. And this is probably one of the most beautiful skeins of yarn I've ever seen. And this skein, even the blend is exquisite. It's 65% superwash merino, 20% silk, 15% yak. And you can tell that there's yak in this because it's kind of a grey undertone to it, so the colors are a bit subdued, and it's beautiful. And the yarn is from all wool that ends wool, and I really love it. It's so soft, and this is going, and I forgot to tell you, this skein is 120 grams, so it's 480 meters, and it's more than enough for a beautiful shawl or something for me, because this is for me. And the skein is so beautiful, I'm almost tempted to just put it in a shadow box and hang it on the wall, because it's so beautiful. And because I have a plus subscription with her, I also get some extras. And one of them is this fun, let's turn it the other way around so you can see what it looks like. This fun owl. There you can focus, and there you can see who made it. And my husband loves owls, and this is really fun. It's a button made from sea-washed Welsh slate, and that's really fun to get something from Wales. I've been to Wales, it's beautiful. And this fun button. That's, if I'm not mistaken, supposed to be a Christmas pudding. And it's a button, so you can sew it on something. So that's the extras I got this time. And another thing I got from a Norwegian web store, I think they ship abroad, called Norwegian Spirit. And you've probably all heard of Twig and Horn. And I always wanted the Twig and Horn bag, but they're kind of pricey. But then I saw that Norwegian Spirit had these tote bags. And I of course bought this as a Christmas present to myself. They even were on sale. And I love this because it's really sturdy canvas. And the handles are long enough to go over your shoulder. So I think I'm going to use that to carry my knitting if I need to. Something happened to the camera, but I was all blurry, but now I'm okay again. As I was saying, this is kind of winging it, so you'll have to take what you get, I suppose. I might get away with some of the blunders I did with some heavy editing, but we'll see. So if you see lots of cuts in this, it's because I had to edit stuff out. I'm still new at this. I know this is episode 15, but it takes some time to get really professional, I guess. And now, before I start blabbering too much, let's do the giveaway. I'll draw a winner here on YouTube because this is a giveaway for my subscribers. So I decided to give away some really beautiful yarn, and it's 100% alpaca, and it's shawl duo, and I have 2 of them. So I want the prompt to be, tell me below in the comments, what's your favorite festive meal? It doesn't necessarily have to be Christmas, just your favorite festive meal. And I'll be drawing a winner on the day before my next podcast. And my next podcast will be on January 10th. I'm skipping 2 Fridays because my youngest son is going home on the 3rd. And I always podcast in the mornings. And I still feel awkward recording a podcast when I'm not alone. I have to get better at this because if I'm going to continue vlogging, I have to get used to talking into my phone at least while my husband's present. But as it is, I'm going to record my next podcast on January 10th. So leave your comments below, your favorite festive meal, and blue, if you want the blue shawl duo, that's this one, and orange, if you want this one. And you have to trust me on the fact that the colors look different. I'll put up a picture of the 2 skeins so you can see what they actually look like. And the only thing that remains now is to wish you all a Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays, whichever you prefer. And I'll see you all next year. Goodbye.